Hello, everybody. Welcome to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. I am Sandy, and we are here for our midweek reset. A little bit late because we just tried to go live and had no audio, but that's fine. Because today is all about regulating your nervous system, even when you mess up. So today I am wearing my American flag shirt, which is not a super typical outfit for me because I've been going through my stuff and I was going to give it away. And then I all of a sudden felt guilty, but I have been feeling a bit disenfranchised and, obviously sad and like losing sleep over the state of the world, dysregulated. So today I thought we would talk a little bit about fight, flight, and freeze. And I know that I have been in a little bit more of a frozen state than usual. I haven't been wanting to be on social media. I haven't been commenting on much. I'm watching my friends unfriend each other and fight online about things that they cannot control, and I'm not saying we can control the world, but we can control how we respond to it, right? Mm-hmm. And we here at the People's Congregation have developed some programs to help you regulate your nervous system. So today, again, as I've been losing sleep and I've been feeling kind of paralyzed, a couple words came to mind. And one of them was, faith in humanity. I still believe. And Martin Luther King popped into my head as elder, of our past. That was so inspiring with his words. And so I was looking for hope and inspiration. So I thought I would share this very short, it's about 2 minutes of his words today. And it's a speech called I Have the Audacity. So hopefully you can all hear this okay.
I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I have the...
So for some reason, it's not playing the entire thing, but that is kind of like the best part of it. I don't know why it's just repeating and not playing the whole thing, because it's just, is Mercury in retrograde? I don't know. But either way, I mean, I have the audacity to start a church. I had the audacity to start a church. And one of our creeds is focusing on what we can control and not what we can't. And, as we move forward, I was saying adelante is my favorite Spanish word, which means to move forward. The more that we fight, the more that we ruminate, the more disconnected we become. And that kind of might be by design, guys, because the more divided we are, the less likely we are to come together and
we fall.
Right. Well, right. And, or change. Yeah. And more of us are going to freeze. Right. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm here today with Anna. Real quick, I'm going to just do the announcement so I don't forget. This Soul Saturday, we have DJ Frank White at high noon. Come down and dance with us. We've made this beautiful dance floor a sanctuary to just, again, celebrate life, like focus on the joy, focus on gratitude, and,
focus on helping us dance and move our bodies. That's part of regulating and connecting with community.
Right, releasing all that is stuck inside of you. So so Anna, I know that you are a bit of an expert on the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. So do you want to give us a quick breakdown on how yoga helps us regulate our nervous system?
Yes. So hi, everybody. My name is Anna. I teach lots of yoga. I'm also a yoga therapist. Welcome to the midweek reset. And we reset by regulating our nervous system. So we have the central nervous system that we basically focus on here midweek. By Wednesday, we're usually already feeling the fry. So we have the central nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord that comes all the way down. That's the central nervous system. And then we have the peripheral nervous system, all of the nerves that stem from the brain down into the spinal cord and spread out all through the cervical, the thoracic, the lumbar, and the sacral area. And so what happens is we go from the peripheral nervous system, which is the main thing that we're concerned with at the moment, is divided by the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. And the way that I remember we go into fight or flight is the sympathetic nervous system, S equals stress, which goes, sympathetic stress. So what happens? When we're in the parasympathetic, we're in rest and digest. When we shift into the sympathetic, we're in stress mode. So our organs and everything begins to respond to either rest and digest, where we're chilling and we can digest and everything's flowing like it needs to flow. And then when we shift into the sympathetic, that's when the brain starts to receive information from the heart, because the heart starts to pump faster. And then we go into this we're not in cohesion anymore, where the heart brain they're not picking up each other's signals in the way that they should. So the signals that the nervous system starts to receive is we start to not get hungry, we lose appetite, we get dry mouth, our bladder contracts. So like when you're nervous and you have to pee, that's one of the responses that you are in fight or flight. And your secretions, your adrenals are also they're overworking, basically. So cortisol. If you've ever, your cortisol, your hormones are out of whack, your body is receiving more cortisol, your adrenaline is releasing, and it's not a bad thing to go into fight or flight flee, but you have to find a balance. It's when you stay in this fight or flight state, fight, flight, flee, that creates chronic disease. So your muscles tighten, you can get chronic pain, you can get joint pain, inflammation increases in the body. So it's like a domino effect of what begins to happen in the body. If you live in this chronic place of stress and you're not finding a balance, that is the gateway to dis-ease in the body or disease. You can start to develop digestive problems. You can start to develop mental fog. You're unfocused, you can't clear your mind, you can't make decisions, you feel overwhelmed all the time. That can shift into anxiety, which can develop into depression. So now you're going into the subtle body, emotional body, in addition to all the physical symptoms that you're beginning to also sense. And that's not a good formula, because then you start to spiral downwards. So the balance is our community, finding practices, your breath. Breath is medicine. How do we control these bodily responses? One of the biggest tools that we can control these bodily responses with is breath. Also looking at your reactivity. How often are you reacting and responding to things? Giving yourself a break, being silent before you respond so you can think and respond responsibly, ethically, lovingly is one of the ways that we can do. A lot of the times we're in this reactive place, and that's where we're used to being. We're not taught to not react. We're taught to punch back, which isn't the right response. So that is the nervous system kind of in a nutshell, and why I teach meditation and why I teach these practices. Even as a yoga therapist, I'm applying these practices to myself, sharing them with my friends, because if we live and continue to live in these places of stress, not only are we doing damage to ourselves and shortening our lives, but we're also affecting the people around us and our environment. So it's important to learn the tools to regulate your nervous system. So this is why I teach meditation.
And so again, I'm going to shorten this a little bit, because I did realize actually I think if we could keep it a 30-minute practice today, because I need to get my phone because I have a meeting at 2:30, unfortunately. But what I was going to say is Matt is going to be back next week, and it's, at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. It's a combination of breathwork and sound healing. So it's really an opportunity to be still. And for a lot of us, it helps with our meditation if we have something like frequency to sort of focus on. And it helps us open up our chakras and balance. And then that is always free. So thank you to the members, because Yoga with Anna is a free offering for the community. You don't even have to be a member to come down. Same on Tuesdays at 1 is going to be another free offering. Wednesday, the midweek vibe check, we are asking for a $10 donation for members and $20 for non-members. So just wanted to put that out there. And then also, if you have some place to be on Wednesday directly after, let Matt know, because often he does like a sharing circle. And if you don't have time to participate in that, just let him know in advance so you don't feel rude for leaving, and then he'll start the discussion after you leave. Okay, so Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
I wish the entire speech, I don't know why I just kept repeating that first half. Again, this
Don't
has
forget
been
to turn it off.
I'm going to shut off my microphone now that we actually turned them on. So thank you, everybody, for your patience. But today's going to be a 30-minute practice, I think, just because it's actually good to have some shorter routines up
It's
there.
always
If that's okay.
good to, just know that breathing is a practice. You don't have to have a 30-minute practice. I think that we go into overwhelm. When we go into overwhelm, we freeze. We don't know what to do, so we end up not doing anything. But one of the practices that we can do is just breathe and allow ourselves to just sit and be. For some, that's hard. For others, we just don't take the time to notice and to do that. We're shifting into fall, so we are shifting our nervous systems from being in this sunny, bright, activity-filled place to the weather shifting into a colder, the leaves are starting to fall, the food we eat is starting to change, how we feel is starting to change. Everything is in cycle. And so we are also in cycle as we are part of nature ourselves. And the practices that I like to bring into fall are more grounding practices, given I ground all the time, and I give myself that year round because there's so much going on right now. Like, I really think that I have shifted into more grounding practices year round for myself because we're receiving so much. And sometimes it's even overwhelming to receive, whether it's through social media, through the TV, through podcasts, through being out in public. We're receiving a lot of information. So it's up to us to decipher and filter what we allow ourselves to receive, give ourselves the moments to receive, and also decide when to shut down. What I have been recommending to my clients is, if you can, give yourself 30 minutes to an hour before bed, turn off your electronics if you can, put the EMFs at a safe distance away from your bed so that you can peacefully nest into your bed. So I know that we have a tendency to bring our phones to bed. I'm guilty of that. I'm working in bed with my computer, till odd hours of the night because those are things that I have to do. But I also give myself the breaks. If your body's calling for a nap, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, give yourself that. I think that these practices open up to us listening to ourselves and our bodies much, much more than we usually do. So let's listen to our bodies. I'm going to give you some grounding postures. Remember that going inward is a good thing. When there's chaos in the world, the peace can be found within if you let yourself find that peace. One of the ways that we can begin to find that peace is by listening to the heartbeat of our hearts. So I'm going to invite you to place your hands on your lap, which also the touch of the palms, all those nerve endings from the peripheral nervous system, heading into our feet, heading into our hands. So we're sensing that on our lap. We can also bring the index and thumbs to touch. And in this grounding position, you can also, if you are in a place to receive and you want to receive energy, you can also place them up. So I'm going to place them down because this is the intention to ground. You choose what you do you. Inviting you to begin to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And if at any point you need to shift your body, shift your hands, please feel free to do so. I may do so while I'm guiding you. And let's come into breath awareness. As you come into your breath, feel the breath come in through the nose and leave the nose. Notice the temperature, cooling as it comes in, warm as it leaves the body. I invite you to soften the gaze or close your eyes And without any expectations, allow yourself to be with the breath, with your heartbeat. In my meditation classes, I remind my students that the thoughts that come in are part of the process. The process is to acknowledge the thoughts, just like we see clouds run across the sky. You recall seeing those cotton candy clouds in blue and pink. Watch them float away. You can acknowledge the thoughts, and with the exhales, watch them float away. If at any time those thoughts come back, continue to anchor into your breath. You may start to feel your body sway or swirl as you go in a little more deeply. With your internal gaze, notice that you can take the internal gaze to the third eye or mid-brow point. If that gets tiresome, you can also take the gaze behind the cheekbones. You can play with that movement. If one gets tiresome, then shift the internal gaze to the other area and so forth. What I am going to invite you to create at this moment in this grounding practice is heart-brain cohesion. We are connecting to our hearts, the beat, the physical of the heart, feel it as it pumps the blood into our bodies, the oxygen. Feel the lungs as you take that breath in, feel them expand, feel the rib cage expand on the side body and back side body, along with the front side body. So take a few breaths here just to notice all that physical going on in the heart space. And now we're gonna come into using our superpower, which is creating emotions of gratitude and love that also create joy. So I invite you to tap into an event, a person or thing that brings you incredible joy, incredible love. A lot of the examples that I use are maybe remembering a major event in your life that brought great joy. Maybe it was the birth of your child. Maybe it was seeing the birth of your grandchild or seeing your grandchild for the first time. A person you love. I often think of looking into my son's eyes as they smile back at me, and that just creates so much joy in my heart. Or your fur baby. Feeling the fur go through your fingertips and noticing how soft and cuddly and how they love you unconditionally. And as you create these emotions of what you're tapping into to sense this, you're creating a frequency that's different in your body than when you're walking around normally, just doing your everyday thing. So I invite you to feel this through your body to the point where you're going to get chills. You're going to feel your face smile, or maybe it's external, maybe it's internal. Feel it through your body is the invitation. As you feel it through your body, your brain begins to pick up the frequencies of your heart and send information to your nervous system to begin to calm. It sends the information down to your cells. The vibration of the cells change. You're creating a healthier biodome in your body just by using these tools, creating the emotions of love, gratitude, and joy. And know that you can create this at any time, anywhere, any place. All you have to do is drop into your heart space. These emotions create the catalyst for your manifestations in your heart's desires. So I invite you to create your intention. Do you want to feel lighter? Do you want to feel much calmer? Do you want to feel what it feels like to be less reactive? Breathe it in. Exhale out anything that isn't serving you. Maybe it's anger. Let it go through the exhale, sadness or grief. Give yourself a moment here to release through the exhales, through the love, gratitude, and joy that you're sensing, to create space for more good things to come into your heart, into your surroundings, into your environment. Because as we change our frequency, so does the electromagnetic field change around our bodies and beyond. As we are here together, sensing this love, gratitude, and joy, we emit these frequencies to each other. So we're sending love to one another, whether it's through the camera or here in studio. Sending it to your family, people you love, and then anybody that you're in conflict with. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, send that person or group love. Surround them in love. As we do this, we can also send love to someone you feel needs it. And as we do this, we send love, gratitude, and joy to the collective, to the people here at Weymouth Landing, to the community that expands beyond Weymouth, Quincy, to Boston, that expands beyond our state and expands into the ether to the world, our collective. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, feel that love and gratitude. Bring it back to your heart. And when you're ready, slowly beginning to bring a little bit of movement back into the body. Maybe your palms are on your lap, and maybe you're going to circle your palms to feel the warmth around the knees. Or you're going to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Wherever you are, if you're on your back, feel like you're just waking up. You can bring knees into chest. And if you're seated, gently swaying the body around in circles or rolling the shoulders. And then gently waking yourself up. So from wherever you are, let's come into tabletop position. Let's stack shoulders over wrists. Open the hands nice and wide, like you're really grounding into the earth. This is our grounding practice. And this is what we do all the time, really. We're grounding. So feel the legs, feel them ground into the mat. Usually I say you can choose to tuck the toes, but this time lay them flat. On the inhale, abdomen's going to fall, coming into a cow pose. Tilt the tail, take the gaze up to the sky. On the exhale, either finding a neutral spine or you're going to tuck your chin and tuck the tail. Inhale, begin to flow with your breath, extending, taking the gaze up as you exhale, finding neutral spine or gently rounding in, and follow the flow of your breath. Breathing in and out the nose, we control the flow of breath versus breathing through the mouth. And don't feel like you're doing it wrong if you're breathing the opposite. That's okay. Just feel your breath. Any way that you're breathing is good. Feel the depth of the breath. From here, let's come back to center and circle the hips. Give them some movement. Both directions. And then we're going to come into a child's pose. So child's pose can be done with the knees right where they are, which is hip distance apart by extending forward, the hands forward, the arms forward. But I like to create space for the body. So I invite you to take the knees wide, allow the toes to touch, shift the hips back, and you can either place a pillow back here or a pillow here in the center. If you need some support, extend the arms forward, melt the heart towards the mat. If you can ground your third eye into the earth, I invite you to do that. Another grounding practice I love is to bring the index finger and the thumbs in opposite hands to touch. So you create a little diamond shape with your thumb and your index finger right above you. Take some nice deep breaths here. Feel the nerve endings of the fingers touch. Feel the sense of comfort as you feel the abdomen expand and you take in that deep breath. Feel the abdomen fill the space. Take up space. On the next breath, we're going to walk the hands to the right side, give our side body a little stretch. If you can layer that left palm over the right, take a bow. And lengthen that left hip towards the left heel if that feels okay. About 3 to 5 breaths, depending on how you're feeling, and then walking back to center and then walking to the left side. So here I'm averaging about 3 breaths so we can move into each posture a little bit more quickly. And then let's walk back to center. Extend the arms forward, spread the fingers nice and wide, and then press the hips back, lengthen. Take the bow. Walk the hands back to your tabletop position. And from here, let's come into Adho Mukha Shavasana or downward facing dog. Another grounding posture as we feel the contact points on the mat, on the floor, on the earth. Lift the knees, lift the hips up, and press the hips back. Heels do not have to touch. But just like we have contact points in the hands and the feet, feel them make contact with the earth. Bend one knee after the other. Press the heart towards the thighs. Bend the knees as much as it feels good. Bend them deeply. Like you're pressing the floor away. Pull the navel in. Give yourself that little walk. And then walk the feet to meet the hands at the top of your mat. Take a forward fold here. Bend the knees deeply and take your fold. So option to let the arms dangle. You can grab elbow to elbow. Or just let the arms sway. And then hands are going to come to the shins so that we can half lift the body. Tilt the tail, pull the navel in, lengthen through the crown. A nice long spine here. Deep breath in Exhale, forward fold, plant the palms, step both feet back, drop the knees. Let's come down to our abdomen. And let's take a cobra pose. Let's take it wide to release the low back. Why strain ourselves today? Take the feet wide. So the reason I'm doing this is because when we take the feet into a cobra position, let me just flip that. Into a cobra position or zipped, thank you, it compresses the low back. So let's release the low back by taking a wide stance. So my legs are just about the width of the mat, my feet. Hands are underneath the shoulders. And remember, it's not how high. Let's tuck the elbows and a nice deep breath in. Press the tops of the feet, all 10 toes into the mat, and a gentle lift. Lift the heart. Chin is parallel to the floor. 2 more breaths. And lower. Take the arms by your side. Take the right cheek to the mat. And allow the body to gently drape over the earth. Let's bend the knees and a little windshield wiper side to side. And then lower them down. Come back to center, hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the elbows close to the body. Inhale, press the legs into the floor, feet into the floor. Lift the heart. Slide the heart forward. And then let's tuck the toes, gently lifting the body back up, shift the hips back, come into that puppy pose position. Let's sweep it forward, come back to that cobra position, Bhujangasana, bring the feet closer together, and tuck the toes again, sweep for a little up dog. So you're just gonna press up and press back again. And we're going to do that again in circle. We're going to sweep forward, take an up dog. You can lift the knees now, and then drop the knees and come back and shift the hips back. Sweep it forward. You can lift the knees if you'd like, or keep them grounded by tucking the toes and lifting the knees, or just keeping the legs flat. And then ground the knees, press the hips back. Let's do that one more time. Sweep it forward. Take your up dog. Then ground the knees and press the hips back. From here, come back to your tabletop position, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and press to your down dog. Walk it out again. And then walk feet to meet the hands, forward fold, top of the mat. Hands on the shins for a little lift, and then let's root to rise, extend the arms up. Gently bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, and let the pointer fingers release like a little steeple. Squeeze the hands together and a side-to-side movement with the body. Inhale, lengthen a little arch over to the left side for 2 breaths. Come back to center when you're ready, and arch over to the right side as you take that deep breath and exhale. 2 more breaths. Come back to center. This time, let's lower the hands. Take them to the low back. Pull the quads up so you have nice strong legs. Parallel the feet together. And then you're going to press the hips forward. Take the gaze up to the sky. Come back to center. Arms come up. Palms touch. This time, bring the hands to heart, bend the knees, and take that forward fold. Step it back as you plant the palms and drop the knees. Shift the hips back. Extend the arms. Walk the hands back to your knees. And then we're going to sit on the heels just for a moment. Let's come into hero pose and let's tuck the toes to give the feet a little bit of a stretch. So remember, We have the nerve endings in the hands. We also have the nerve endings in the feet. So your feet, your toes are going to feel uncomfortable in this position. Just gently lift up and release the pressure. Come back and lift again. And then release. Shift the hips to one side. Swing the legs around. Find the center of your mat. And then bring the soles of the feet to touch. Nerve endings once again. So you're feeling the soles of your feet. Interlace the fingers around the feet. Take a nice deep breath to lengthen and create traction in the spine. Let the legs flutter a little bit. Walk the buttocks towards the heels a little bit if you can. And then inhale, lengthen, exhale. Take that hinge from the hip. So it's, again, not how deep you go. Keep the length in the spine. You're still wanting to keep that traction. Take the shoulders back. So if you feel you're going to start to do this, stop right where you begin to feel that. Keep the length in the spine and gentle hinge. Release, come back up. Extend the legs forward, knees bent, arms behind you, windshield wiper. And then we're going to come down to our backs. Let's bring the knees into chest and rock it out. Hands on tops of the knees, take them into circles. And then before we end our practice, we're going to get a little twist in. So let's extend the legs and take a full body stretch. Take the right knee to chest. Squeeze in, tuck the elbows. On the next breath, release the right arm to the right side. Take the knee to the left side body and take your twist. Take the gaze to the right side. This is wonderful for low back pain, getting a nice stretch in the low back. Come back to center, gently squeeze in. Take a full body stretch, extending that right leg to meet the left, and then reach for the left knee to chest. Lengthen through that right leg, flex both feet to just lengthen the muscles there. And then you're going to release that left arm with the right hand, guide that left knee to the right side, gaze to the left side. Breathing nice and deep. One more breath. And then slowly unwind and come back to center. Squeeze in the knee, full body stretch. And lower your arms by your side. You can bend the knees here if you'd like, and a little windshield wiper to release the hips from the twist. And then find yourself resting wherever you are, whether seated or lying down, arms by your side. Remember, you can bring your index finger and thumbs to touch. You can take it palms up or palms down to ground. Please give yourself this time here to integrate the breath and the benefits of all the movements into the nervous system. And that's what we're doing when we come into Shavasana, is we're regulating the nervous system through all the benefits that we just received, through the breath, through the movement, through our mind, through love, through our hearts. If you are at home, you're very welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. In studio, take your time as I cue you out of Shavasana, beginning to deepen the breath, wiggling toes and fingers to wake up the body. Maybe taking a full body stretch, and then bringing knees into chest. Rolling over to your right side and cradling your head for a moment. And what I like to do in these grounding practices is I like to ground my third eye. And then slowly use your hands to walk your body weight back up to seated. So you can add any postures that you'd like to this grounding practice. Remember, you always have your breath. There's always a way to calm your mind in the best way possible by taking a moment to filter everything out. So I invite you to seek these practices with us or with whoever you feel very supported by. Let's bring our hands to our heart center. The audacity that we believe is powerful. And I would love to remind us to send love as much as possible, not just to yourselves, but to the collective and those who need it, because it is an audacity to believe. Namaste. Believe in the peace.